Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here. So I wanted to have a quick look at the full moon which is coming up in Sagittarius on the 4th of June, 3rd or 4th of June. And so what I wanted to focus on was there are two pretty big energies working with us at the moment in all of this 0 degree energy. So we have the galactic center, which sits at that convergence point of Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius. And also around that degree, 14 degrees, we have the great attractor. Okay. So the great attractor basically pulls galaxies towards it at a very great rate of knots. And because of the speed at which the great attractor sucks galaxies towards it, it can bend time and space. I highly recommend you nip to the community tab and watch Pam Gregory's latest video, because there's a big picture forming here about the return to soul consciousness, the return to the divine blueprint. And that's going to bring in alignment all the way up the fractal. All right, with me so far. So I got curious about 14 degrees of Sagittarius. So the full moon is happening at 13 degrees and 17 minutes. So I'm going to read for 14. The pyramids and the Sphinx. Achievement based on past greatness. Power of the countless dead upon the living, vast resources in selfhood antecedents. So what this is whispering to is the greatness of who we are. We're talking about ancient ancestry coming in. Wow. Slow down. What was that? I was just shown a sentence. What was that? It's retrieval of soul essence. Retrieval of soul essence. There's something else. Lost inventory. Retrieval of lost inventory. Thank you. And I knew I'd written about the galactic center and the great attractor a while ago. So I've hunted through my notes and I found this just to kind of create a picture of what these two energy points are. So I wrote this at the end of November 2021. So that will be on my other channel. It's called Moving Beyond the Zone of Avoidance. And that was written for the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius on December the 4th, 2021. Our galaxy and other nearby galaxies are being pulled towards a specific region of space at great speed. It's about 150 million light years away, and we're not exactly sure what it is. It was discovered in the 70s, and we call it the Great Attractor. Part of the reason the Great Attractor is so mysterious is that it happens to lie in a direction of the sky known as the zone of avoidance, in the general direction of the center of our galaxy. Here, there is so much gas and dust that we can't see very far in the visible spectrum. However, as X-ray astronomy has become more powerful, we now begin to see objects within that region. And what we found was a large supercluster of galaxies in the area of the Great Attractor known as the Norma cluster. It has a mass of about 1,000 trillion suns. I don't know where they get these numbers from, but they're vast. So we're talking about thousands of galaxies around the Norma cluster. While the Norma cluster is massive and local galaxies are moving towards it, it doesn't explain the full motion of local galaxies, i.e., it's pulling faster than the galaxies should move from a physics point of view. The mass of the Great Attractor isn't large enough to account for the pull. So what is pulling? When we look at an even larger region of galaxies, we find that these local galaxies, plus the great attractor, are actually moving towards something even larger. It's known as the Shapley supercluster and contains more than 8,000 galaxies with a mass of more than 10 million billion suns. The Shapley supercluster is, in fact, the most massive galaxy cluster within 1 billion light years, and we and every galaxy in our corner of the universe are moving towards it. So as we hurtle through the cosmos, gravity shapes the path we travel. We're pulled towards the great attractor, and despite its glorious title, it appears, in fact, to be a perfectly normal collection of galaxies, which just happens to be hidden. Okay. So, and Christelle put the Shapley attractor on my radar a few days ago. I haven't had time to research it, but it's in the current astrology, so that's in with us too. Okay, great attractor, galactic center, Shapley. So everything's getting pulled out, and in there is a challenge to push the boundaries, to step outside the container of who you know yourself to be, of what you know yourself to be. So I'm going to try and keep it simple today. It's all feeling very complex. I'm going to ask 3 simple questions. What antecedents are working with us? So ancestors. What are we closing out in this full moon? And what are we birthing? And then we'll see where it goes from there. I haven't pulled any cards yet. And I'm going to go here to ask which energies are working with us. Yeah, absolutely. This feels very much like void energy today. It's like staring into the void, into the new blueprints that are coming in and waiting to be birthed. And this is speaking to a balance. This is about right use of power. It's about temperance and balance and harmony in that 6. It's about who we're serving. And so we have the move from, you know, we've got Pluto hovering at that 0 degree point, heading back, going to take that energy back into Capricorn to really pull the structure down. And Pluto next year will begin its journey through Aquarius, which is asking, what am I serving? Am I serving myself? We've created that, tick, we've done that. Or am I serving something greater than myself? Am I serving something greater than myself? So, and I just want to report one of the weird symptoms I'm experiencing at the moment is sudden hunger, but it's beyond hunger. It's like I haven't eaten for 3 days. Okay, so that's just happened in the last 5 minutes. Fine, when I sat down, as soon as I hit record, my belly is talking to me and I feel very, very hungry. And I've noticed that's one of the symptoms. Since that last video, that was a massive initiation for me. And I'm still unpacking it. I'm still integrating the energies, hence why I haven't been to camera. So what came in was this pure divine light. It came in. I don't want to speak to it just yet, because you'll have experienced whatever came through in your own way, but it's creator energy. You call it God, the field, source code. And this is speaking to wandering beyond the made world, which is whispering to letting go of the material structure of this reality, the Capricornian structure of reality. It's like, it's about the things in the physical that give you comfort, that create emotional entanglement and attachment, that create self-definition. And what happens if we go beyond the material made world and through what is there? Because there'll be all sorts of hooks and triggers as we move into these very, very big, new, expansive energies. They will trigger our small self to rise. So we're going to have to do some process work around this. Definitely. Light body activation. It's going to create all sorts of physical symptoms. I've noticed my energy has been polarized for a whole week. So moving from absolute exhaustion to full of energy in a day. Insomnia. It's a crazy energy field. Kind of a push and pull and expansion and contraction all happening at the same time. Our poor little bodies. Okay. And with expansion comes upliftment, and the upliftment will challenge us to really put into play everything that we've been learning esoterically, internally, with the internal systems. And it's now where we build that bridge and change behaviors, friend groups, homes, jobs, all change. Yeah, I'll say. Bear with me. I think, okay, I'm sorry, I'm working on the next card. Let's stay with this one. This is like the holy divine phone call. Somebody said to me the other day, I can hear the phone ringing, but I can't find the phone. So there's a call to service. And what I get with this is radical self-acceptance. I get radical self-acceptance because with all the current astrology, it's going to get very, very psychic indeed. And when what you brought in with you, let's call it antecedent coding, wakes up, you might realize something which is a 180-degree turn from who you perceive yourself to be. And as we rise into this expanded expression of self, again, it's going to trigger that small self. What, me? Do that. Yeah, go for it, I would say, in these energies. So, I believe Venus is soon to join Mars in Leo. And then we have the Venus retrograde happening. I'm not going there. I'm just putting that on your radar. Yeah, Venusian Galactic Council, the messages answer the call. Can you pick the phone up, please? Okay, so there's going to be masses of heart expansion to create the space within for more light to come through. Okay. It's just like a massive convergence, isn't it? That's going to uplift the chariot, the Merkaba, the vessel, the vehicle in which we travel between dimensions. So this is multi-dimensionality. It's massive. It's massive. Okay, so we know what's working with us. Let's look at what we are closing out in this Sagittarian cycle. Sagittarius is the 9th house of philosophy, law, science, higher learning, idealism. What are we closing out, please, in this Sag moon cycle? The written library, I'm getting. I'm getting the Alexandrian library. Tell me more. Yeah, I've got it. I've got the message now. So I haven't looked at these cards yet, but what this is, well, that adds to it. What this is speaking to is the shift from inspired learning, where it comes from within. So if we're talking about learning and creativity, then are we talking about passion, and are we talking about that house of Leo, of creative play, fire, passion? And when we create from integrity, it's coming from source. So what did I say? Did I say the end of the library? Because that's going to challenge learning from dusty books. Let's see if the cards tell me more. Yeah, it's joy and playing your own instrument and using your own palette, which might be unpalatable to others. And yeah, that might be where we defer to a book to tell us how to do it, but the book is within you. You know, that's the coding that came through last Friday. That's the coding that blew my heart wide open. It's very high frequency, these threes coming through. Grace and generosity, and you'll have everything you need. You'll have everything you need to create in very new ways. Yeah, it's like I'm seeing different platonic solids, creating different. So this is speaking to the physics of creation. Yeah, which is speaking to the lost inventory. So we're creating outside our dimensional understanding of this reality. This is real big picture stuff. And okay. I was having a chat, excuse me. I was having a chat in the liminal a few mornings ago about food shopping. Yeah. And remembering how when I was growing up, we used to food shop on the high street. So we would go to the bakers, to the greengrocers, and to the local shop. All of that was replaced by the supermarket and the department store, which is basically killing the high street. That is being replaced by leviathans like Amazon, online shopping. And I was curious about going forward 20 years. Okay, Pluto, Aquarius. So putting soul back into the collective. And what's coming through is, what is it going to look like? If we go way over there and look back at we're shopping online and yada, 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 and what that's doing is that's breaking down human contact, where you meet people in shops, literally. And that speaks to sensory perception. It speaks to empathy, and how empathy, 1144, and how empathy has, yeah, that's beautiful. 1144 is, I just got this image of two people in this free associative chat, just talking right up the fractal. Beautiful, building heaven on earth from inspiration, intuition. So when we're talking about getting back to integrity, grace and generosity, you'll have everything you need, and creating from inspiration, then we're talking about legacy building. So if we build with Pluto now, yeah, it's going to retrograde through Capricorn and create a bit of a mess. So if we move to 2024, and then I think there's another retrograde, and then it will go fully into Aquarius for 20 years. Then we can ask ourselves, what am I building for? Who, what, where, when? And maybe we can look at it dimensionally. What will be the dimensional need in 20 years, over the next 20 years? Because, you know, already I'm seeing signs of significant change as Pluto at that 0 degrees takes our trauma work deeper. So the work I'm doing professionally has gone deeper. People are going deeper into the psyche to reveal what got hidden, long since suppressed experience. What will happen if I multiply that by 20 years? What's that going to look like? An empty vessel. A highly responsive Merkaba. And so as we talk about building heaven on earth, are we talking about building a wider cosmos here? Bringing more cosmic signatures here. Yeah. Okay, I think I just said radical acceptance. So radical acceptance, you have everything you need, and what you might be sent could be radically different to who you perceive yourself to be. So look, I mean, this is heart blown open. This is creative fire, mind fire. This is shadow expression. It could be mind fire. I don't want to be this. Cool, walk that path, no judgment. But the only constant is change and choice, change and choice. Not getting distracted by the plethora of insurgent noise. So this is speaking about focus. So in the mundane, it's actually speaking to the first house of self. And you might notice a pivotal shift back towards, how am I physically? How am I emotionally? How am I spiritually, mentally? Is there anything I can do to improve those health constructs within myself? So there's a very physical uplift going on. In the last 4 weeks, my diet has completely changed again. So I just follow my body. So my body has its own natural intelligence. It's sensing the changes and it's changing. Clarity and organization will come through the focus. Yeah. So not getting distracted by the noise. It's going to get noisy out there. It's already noisy. You might find your tolerance to noise is becoming almost painful. Trust that. Listen to your body. If you need to go hermit or crawl into your cave, do it, to come back into this single pointed integrity, this beautiful inner integrity, rising above the fray, seeing the bigger picture. And what I'm getting with this 18, so what I'm getting is conscious creation. This is consciously creating with life. Big picture, to protect ourselves from recreating this shitstorm all over again. So it feels like threshold shift of creating for the here now me into creating for what the world might need in the next 20 years. And the only place we're going to get that from, so we haven't written it yet, is within. And together as a collective, we will birth new bits, and slowly those bits will gravitate towards one another, and we'll build new tapestries of ways of being, new collectives forming that are based in integrity, alignment, respect, love, purity, honor. It's a world I want to live in. I'm going to go to question 3 and ask, what are we birthing? So we'll go to the star decks for this. So I'm guided to remind you, I made some timeline videos weeks ago. I might go back and have a look at those myself, but go back and have a look at those and see if any of those are now of their time. So what are we birthing? Oh, wow, these cards are going crazy. Bringing together new energies into a new harmonic. So these cards are going to be for the many. Okay. What do I mean by that? I mean, they won't speak to everybody. Okay. Because we're building new connectives. We're building new connectives. Underlying energy. Here we have that beautiful Uranian tower energy coming in. Okay. Sphinx and the pyramids. So this is speaking straight to that moon energy, straight to that great attractor. There's another little challenge in there about, what if you allow yourself to be attracted rather than move to defense? So that might be a natural movement. We live in a very judgy world, and so we learn to defend all intellect stuff, rather than step into the powerful vulnerability of this scares me to death, but I'm bringing it anyway. Initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Many will go, many will flow. Lovely. They're getting all poetic now. Yes, very artful. We love that. Yeah. This is lovely. This is speaking to Gemini. Let me just check the chart. Oh, of course. Oh, yes, it's Gemini season. Happy birthday, Geminis. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, ignore me. This is the 4th of June chart, right? Just let's ditch astrology. So in a temple, this again is speaking to clearing the space. I've been waxing lyrical about devotion, 2 of Cups energy. So this is about devotion to sacred practice. And look at this image here. This image here. It's finding your true north. Oh, interesting. Absolute silence with this card, other than this hum, which is like the hum of a planet. Beauty and devotion. Devotion again, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Okay. This is bringing in the void. The word wants to be written is what I get with this. 11:55. Wow, gosh. Here we go. I think there's a Uranus something happening. Watch that Pam Gregory video. This is relevant. Yeah, tower moments. Is tower moments. So the crumbling, Pam beautifully describes Pluto going back into Capricorn to create one last mess. As it's not just the end of the play. There are people now running from a crumbling theatre. It's coming down. So the crumbling is going to ask, are you clinging on to anything? This is interesting. What's happening with this? So we have the Sisterhood of the Rose, and the next underlying card is the ever unfolding rose, unfolding. So we're talking about blooming and blossoming. Cracked open. It's happening for you. You have everything you need. It's happening for you. Can you stand in the honoring of that? It's happening for you. You will have everything you need. Receive. I know it may never have turned up in the past. I know you probably tried to build it again and again and it fell down. That's the testing phase. That's Mr. Dyson trying to create that amazing machine. It took him hundreds of goes. It's only the ego that gets offended and stops us from trying again. Doing again. Yeah, okay. I'm just being reminded of when I used to work with the military, I had a chat with this SAS guy once, and he said, because somebody in the group, we were doing group work, and somebody in the group said, I'm trying to And he interrupted and he said, my CEO used to say, trying is the square root of fuck all. I love that. I love that. Doing better. How's it going? I'm doing better. Doing, active, masculine, fire. Yeah, of course. Pleiades are in. Wow. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, this is the energy that came in last week. It is the lifting of the soul to a higher place on the fractal to access more cosmic fusion. There's that fusion coming in. Did I talk about confusion recently? Fusing the soul at a higher level. Double mission. Channeling and uplifting humanity. So again, we've got the collective Aquarius, which is humanity, the humanitarian, serving something much bigger than ourselves. And maybe we've had to go much higher up the fractal to be able to pull down that level of love wisdom to build with as the mortar to build with is coming in from angelic realms. Yeah, here's the exhaustion and the fatigue. Deep, tissue deep, atomic deep replenishment. Oh, that's beautiful. Learning to drive the new Merkaba is going to be like taking your first driving lesson when you can't quite get the clutch right and the car is kangaroo hopping all the way to the street. Tiredness surge. I love that. I'm noticing my guides are very playful and poetic. It doesn't feel so serious today. Retreat, rest, be held. So as an answer, bear with me, let me come back to focus because the question was, what are we birthing? We're learning to drive the car. We're birthing the void through the blossoming rose. We are becoming devoted to the inner temple, to birth from within. And that's all happening in this initiatic energy. All right, thank you. That makes perfect sense. Is there anything else? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So about 3 days ago, I am making a cup of tea and I have this sudden wave of sadness, which bore no relation to what's here now. So I tuned into my body and I was shown actually a very specific card in one of my private decks, and it's 2 rays of light crossing. And what was happening was I'm actually on my new timeline now. And what I was doing is I was looking back to this timeline and feeling sad for the loss of comfort, perceived safety, security, habit, routine, everything that makes me feel safe in my cave. Okay, so this card's Mintakan talks about longing for home. Now, this is also linking to going home, coming home, bringing home here, okay? Belonging. Who has had a sense that they don't belong since the day they were born? I can see hands going up all over. The original light workers, the antecedents. This is really, truly ancient. This is really, truly ancient. It's like, this is like the forming of the cosmos. Okay. I think this is Pluto speaking about the deep psyche work that's going on at the moment in the collective. So we're breaking the chains with the negative ancestry, the ancestry that keeps us going around in that karmic wheel of the usual suspects, like the victim, martyr, scapegoat, complex, codependency, narcissism, psychopathy, fear. And as we heal our deep ancestral stories, we clear the space for these new, what's the next card, soul families, soul tribes to come in. So aligned with soul, aligned with light. Do you know what? There's something Geminian. Goodness, there's something Gemini going on here. Right, look. Soul family, twins, Gemini, twins, Gemini, dance with life, twins, Gemini. There's something going on with Gemini. I don't want to go there because I want to stay focused on this. So we're talking about rewriting the future, reframing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So when we look at an experience through old lenses of those wounded psycho, yeah, absolutely. The wounded psyche lenses, we can negate how powerful we are in going hanged man and going, well, what else can I learn from this? Because so everything exists in degrees on a polar axis, light, dark, and everything in between. When we rewrite the future, we look at that situation from a different perspective and pick another point. Oh, wow, I see what's happening there. And then allow the body to take over, and the soma will clear the old stuck belief. Little trace of Jupiter coming in there. So Jupiter is going to create the expansion. Yeah, so lots of healing going on. I can't guide you strongly enough to really build rest in as part of your sacred practice. Yeah. Is there anything from this deck that wants to speak to this? Are there any further messages, please? Yeah, really deep healing. Really deep healing. It might feel like this to some of us. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy. So let the body take over. Because it's the mind that will keep us spiraling around the bottom of the barrel. It's the mind. Yeah, lots of healing. Lots and lots of healing. In many, many ways. Look at all this portal energy. It's massive. This card says you decide. Absolutely, you decide. Step into the light. Surrender to the sweetness. Yeah. Venus. Pleasure, joy, make love to life. Might be a really interesting Venus season, nice sense. So Venus is still currently in Cancer. Yeah, it's a lovely challenge in here. Can you name and list the moments in your life that are sweet, the sweetness in your life? Because it might be right under your nose and you might have passed it by. And what I'm being shown is like the blueprint of sweetness being brought from the back of the psyche to the front and acting as a lens. So if we start seeing life through the lens of sweetness, well, that would change things, wouldn't it? That would change it. Yeah, absolutely. But remember, boundaries are very important because we don't live in this Garden of Eden. We live in a mean world that wants to judge and poke. Okay. So sweetness, but careful naivety. Careful naivety. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's just like a gentle coming. Look at this for a portal. What a beautiful, beautiful image. So things are being woven. It's not yet time to do the whole naive sweetness, but in your life, write down 3 things that are really sweet. 3 things that create sweetness. It's the triangle. And build from there. Okay, people are people. We're all different. I'm going to pull this right down now. Come on, Colette. Give me some 3D common sense. Let's leave everybody with some 3D common sense. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, brilliant message. Brilliant message. Okay, right in the 3D. Clean it up and go the distance. So this is talking to all of this ancestral healing, healing the psyche. So there are no filters in the way when that pure intuition comes in. So it's the intuition that isn't subject to past patterning. Go the distance. Okay. Yeah. Stay with it. Remember, it's being woven. It's being woven. So I'm being shown 6 months to 12 months. 6 to 12 months. Take your time. Take your time. Learn who you are. Learn to drive the car. Learn to identify the sweetness. Learn to clear sacred space. Learn to commit to sacred practice. I'm loving the shape of this new world. I'm loving the shape of this new world. Okay, what did I just say? I just saw that, and then my eye went to one word. And that, where's that other card? Right, because there's a sentence here. Imagine. Okay, imagination. Soulmates as light workers. Soulmates coming together not for the exclusive purpose of triggering one another, but for the purpose of building in light. Okay, let's see what these are. the underlying spot. This message, look, it's coming on all levels. Okay, so this message is coming from top of the fractal all the way, and it's here. Come to the edge, portal's here, move through. What am I stepping through? No idea. What's on the other side? No idea. Give me a minute. Okay, there's a lovely challenge here coming in. So we've got to be fair and building blocks, and this is speaking to, bear with me. To be fair and building blocks, it's speaking to building in harmony. Okay, in harmony. In a balanced way, heart-centered, heart seeks harmony. It's the balancing of the threes. It's the balancing of the grail. Heart seeks harmony. And oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a lovely message in here. So I believe there is a golden egg here, which is yet to be revealed, and a fortune cookie. So this might literally speak to bear with me. I have to go. Something's just come up. So Uranus, direct change. I have to go. I'm going to be back. Take care. Love you. Bye.